Channels Television has reported this matter over the years. The first was in 2015. The then general manager of SEPA had pleaded with the residents to give the government some time to deal with the issue.
When you talk of that emission, as I'm speaking with you today now, many of those people who are burning with other resins, with other things there, they are turning gradually to gas. Burner. My head of units over there did a documentary and they brought it down here. Some of them have been turning to gas, but we still have, and we will continue educating them. Sometimes they do that when my staff are going home. But during the day, they use that. But when we see such that you do it at night, I will definitely ask my staff to stay behind to monitor. But when you go to abattoir today now, things are changing. But you can't have 100% yet. But I will tell you that before the end of the first quarter of 2016, things will get better in that place.
The residents say that the only action of the government since then has been a fence erected between the abattoir and the estate, and this has not done much.
Way back last year, when we received the complaint in the agency, we set out and we did our investigation, and after the investigation, we sent a task force to demolish all the shanties whereby these obnoxious activities was being carried out. And since that time, the fumes have reduced. But later we discovered that we have these cart pushers, scavengers that goes around to collect all sorts of raw materials. And after collection of the raw materials, they proceed to recover iron metal from such raw materials. Thereby they burn the rubbers to be able to pull out the iron. So the fumes they are now perceiving is not from the activities of the abattoir per se, but we are on top of the situation. We have asked the Siriki, that is the man controlling that environment, to a meeting with us so that we can be able to police these people, because most of the activities are carried out at night. It's quite unfortunate that the dung is there, because the dung was stockpiled in order to provide alternative source of energy for the abattoir. The Minister of Agriculture is in charge of that project. So they stockpiled the dung as a sort of raw material to be converted for energy. Like I told you, there's no more burning at the abattoir. So what they do is the skinning. So the dung is supposed to be used to boil the water, provide energy to be used for the skinning the animals. But I believe that maybe before the first quarter of this year, the project will get online, or the dung will be evacuated from the place.
In the meantime, Mr. Oresanya believes that the residents should get involved in dealing with the problem by cooperating with the operators of the abattoir.
If you look at that complex, there are two components there. There's a lairage there and there's an abattoir there. All right. And not too far from the lairage area there, you have areas where you're supposed to have a skin of the animals. Actually, you're supposed to remove the what you call the pulmonal, the skin, the animal skin, you know. And you're supposed to use some chemicals to process them for leather. It's actually built in the abattoir there. So the people that constructed the abattoir did not anticipate areas where you start processing pulmon with using tires to process that thing, and we're actually wasting so much resources by eating this non-nutritious component of the animal, because you can do a lot with the leather from these animals rather than eat them as pomo. You know, some other countries they export this leather. The furniture industry can actually depend on them. So, and I think the design of that of that facility was designed actually for proper extraction of the skin for other industrial uses. So it is what they're now doing in that place. The place was not actually designed for that, and I think the community can approach the management there to actually plead with them to stop it. If they must eat what can bring dollars, because once you eat the pomo, you are eating dollars. You are eating what can bring you so much money. If we choose to eat the pomo for whatever value we think it is, they can go elsewhere, way outside of town, to go and burn it. If they burn it with tires, it's what they feel is right, which is very, very wrong, because once you are using tire to burn this, you have a lot of carbon from the tires that has been deposited on this skin itself, and some of them are not properly washed, and people go to a restaurant or go to mama put, you eat this pomo with the carcinogens, which are some of the carbon blacks that will be deposited on it, and you can develop a lot of diseases from that. You know, people are exposed to those things. So it should be discouraged, really, and I think we can get a better nutrient from the animals than burning them. Then the dung there, if you get into the around the Lyridge area on the right-hand side, there you will see a place that has been for processing of these dungs into methane for gasification, because the cattle dung there can actually go into a biodigester. That's a digester that was constructed there sometime. I don't know whether it's still there right now. And the digester, they're supposed to house these dungs and process it into methane production that can be used to generate electricity, even for the plant itself. So the plant itself can have a zero waste facility. And where you have the bones, they're supposed to be used for animal, for feed, right? And even the blood, everything there can be, you can have a zero waste facility in that place if properly managed. It's a pity that such a big food processing industry in that location must be dominant. You can't rule that out. So it's a matter of complaining about fumes when you go and locate your house beside a cement factory, or you go and locate your house beside an airport and you start complaining about noise. So the estate met the Lyridge there and the abattoir there. And I think what they need to do is to appeal to the management of the abattoir and work together. It's not a matter of fighting them. You actually met them there. And most of the people there now are now tenants. So they can get involved with the management of the facility. And like I told you, there's a whole lot of money to even be made from the waste they're complaining about. So let them take it up as a challenge and meet with the management and work with the management. And I think the government itself will also look into it and see how things can be done in a very harmonious way. But like I said, they just have to learn to work with the management there. I can't say that we can't shut down the abattoir because of that estate. And those who are tenants now, well, I don't want to talk about their options, but I think they have options.
The problem of air pollution is beyond Lagos State. The World Health Organization records that about 3.3 million people die of air pollution in the world annually. The list of types of pollution is actually longer than that of air pollution, and it contains water, noise, and a whole lot more, obviously demanding the attention and adoption of world-best systems to stem the effect of various types of pollution on Nigerians. It is also imperative to note that the action to be taken is not just left to the government, but the people also have their own role. So you have a role to play to reduce pollution in the air, water, and the environment generally. So we'd like to hear from you. Well, that's it for this episode of the program. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ini John Mekwa.